you have to let people do what they're going to do.
Yes.
Right. And you have to decide that your version of wealth, your version of abundance, whatever that looks like, it's so important. Like whatever that looks like, whether that's 6, 7, 8, multiple 8 figures. If it's really aligned, then that's what matters. It doesn't matter what anybody else says.
Yeah.
Because if we give that judgment over to someone else to say what's worth being wealthy, then that's when we lose our own footing.
Hey everyone, it's Tamara Thompson with Women Unlocking Wealth, and I'm here with my co-host Danielle.
Hey everybody.
We're super excited for our guest today, Lia Dunlap, also the Oracle from Oracle on Purpose. She is an amazing female that I know, like amazing woman. Like I can't say it enough, but we've been grateful to have her in our life for quite a few years now. Lia, thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad to be here with both of you. I'm so excited watching your journey. It's been just a blast to watch how much you guys have risen and done all the things you've done. So thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Well, and we've seen your journey too. You're doing so many different amazing things, from traveling to helping women, build into their confidence, success, and abundance, and things like that. And watching your travels, I mean, geez, you host these like incredible retreats. You have your Limitless Life Club. Tell us a little bit more about like what you're doing this year and how you got into this part.
Oh yeah, thank you so much for asking, because this has been a big shift for me. And I think it's one of those things where, like, as you're doing things as a founder or an entrepreneur or woman in business, like I, of course, as an Oracle, like use my gift to kind of help guide my process. But I think everyone can benefit from the idea, like when you're really tapping into who you're meant to be, these opportunities, the synchronicities start to happen. And so I've been doing this now, like working as an Oracle, doing my work and helping people for 31 years this year. And I got to a place in my life and my business where I was like, okay, what's next? How can I reach more people? But also, how do I get to kind of transition into a place in my business and my life where I am, really stepping up to a higher level and giving more opportunity, hopefully maybe for some other people to step in at some point. Like, how do I make this happen? And so, the Oracle whispered in my ear one day, what you need to do is create a Limitless Life Club. And it was like, okay, I don't know what that means, but fine, let's talk about it.
An LLC?
An LLC, which was funny because that's exactly what my husband said. He's like, really, LLC? I'm like, hey, I don't make this stuff up. I'm only here to do what I'm told, usually. And so it was funny because when it came, and then I kind of like, oh yeah. I'm like, I'm busy. It was right before Christmas. I think it was like last October or so, a few months ago. And it kept coming back and it kept showing up. And I'm like, okay, all right, I hear you. Let's do this. And so I took some time to kind of navigate what was I looking for in my business? What did I want to achieve? And what really mattered to me? And because I've always been so passionate about helping women and working towards having a fulfilling life, like that's always been my goal. I started looking at like, what are they saying to me? What are the people I'm already working with or who want to work with me? What are they looking for? What's missing? And so that's where it started. It was like kind of this germination period of like, what would it be like if we really were living a limitless life? And then it hit me. One of the things that everybody kept saying to me, especially, during the times when we're all on Zoom and nobody was able to like connect with each other, is the word connection and community and being in physical community with each other was really present to me as I was reflecting. And as you said, like I've led retreats all over the world. So that really speaks to me, but it's a big lever for anybody who hasn't done a retreat. It's a big lever, right?
Well,
so it takes a lot of time.
In some incredible places.
Oh, yes.
Let's say Costa Rica.
Yes, Costa Rica, Thailand.
You have another one coming to
Italy.
Costa Rica too?
And now we're going back to Costa Rica. I'm super excited because it's one of my favorite places that we went to, and the location is fabulous. But to me, it's also just, even as a woman, it's like planning on a trip. Here's a secret. You'll find this out. If you're a woman, you probably already know this. But, when we go to have a trip or we want to do a vacation, especially for, a family, it's typically the woman who's like, putting everything together, crossing all the T's, getting everybody packed, making sure everything's happening. So when I decided my retreats, it's like, I want you to feel just like you can step out and relax and you're cared for and you're nurtured in a space where you can just open yourself up and relax and have a great time. And because this particular place in Costa Rica was so fabulous, it was like 100%. But yeah, that was part of it. Like, how do we do this? So I was like, okay, so we definitely want to have retreats. We want to have space for people to be in community. Over the years, I've had a program that I've run since 2004. And so that particular program is running over and over again because people were getting such good results. So I was like, I want them to have access to all the tools, all the resources, the community, and friggin' fun. Let's have some fun. Let's get out there and relax together. Because when we're together, I love what you guys create here, because when we're together, that's when true magic amongst the people that are there and the women, they open up, they share, they have ideas, they collaborate. And so that was it. It kind of all started to fall. All the pieces started to fall together. And, I'm definitely one to talk about like take action. So I was like, okay, here we go. And so I just went to Canva and I threw something up there.
You're my sister.
By the way, my team always goes like, what did you do? Like you made this thing. I'm like, yeah, now can you make it work? Oh, that's my thing. I'm like, oh yeah. So I did this thing this weekend. Can you like put all the emails and stuff together? And they're like, okay, yeah. So I just did that and I started talking to people about it. And a lot of my regular clients that I've been working with before, I like went to them first and said, hey, if I do this, you guys want to come along? So I started a founder's rate. It's not like low entry rate, but it gave them the chance to start building that community. And I'm already seeing success in that piece, which is like, they are a team, like they're locking arms. They're seeing this as like something that they can be a part of for a long time.
And that's so what I'm getting from all women unlocking wealth, community, connection, right?
And action.
In action.
Absolutely.
All of us have taken action.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And keeping at it though too, and understanding when you haven't quite hit your goals, it's okay. You fall, you fail, you get back up, you go forward again. You're just constantly going forward. What have you seen with the clients? Like, what have the traits or the struggles or challenges that they have come to you and the Oracle to ask about? Like, what are some of the commonalities between these women that show up that continue to work with you over and over? What are some of the things that they're dealing with?
Yeah, I think the biggest one, and I coined this word, but it's official because I've said it long enough. Deservability. Like constantly.
Kind of reminds me of dessert.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, maybe because
it's deeper than, well, a lot of people will say like they don't feel worthy, but really beyond that, it's like the sponsoring thought underneath that is I don't deserve X, whatever X is.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And so because they want a thing or they desire a thing and that cross current of thought is happening, they find themselves like repeating and banging their heads against the wall and then they give up, like literally the whole like give up like a mile from the end zone.
Why do you think women feel like they don't deserve things in life?
Well, I can tell you what I've seen. I certainly believe that it's unfortunately a common trope for our society that, as young girls,
programmed based on
where there's a lot of shame and blame for just being. Right? Like all aspects of us. We were just talking offset about like pockets, how it took us so long to get pockets in our clothes because our ability to be present in the world and have conversations and connect. They didn't have pockets when the suffragettes were around because they were afraid of them hiding things in there. So they designed clothes that didn't have pockets so that women couldn't have that hidden thing that they would have. And part of that energy, right? Part of that expression has been handed down generation to generation, which is why women are all excited about pockets when they find them on their plants or their dresses.
I wear many pants with pockets.
Pockets make me happy. I'm all for it.
Pockets,
but again, that mindset has been passed on like literally in our genetics. Right. So it's not like, and I want to say that because people start to feel guilty or bad that they have that. Why can't I? Why don't I know? And that's just not true.
What are some of like the success stories that you've seen with women that have worked with you coming through and the Oracle speaking to them as well?
Yeah. One of my favorite clients right now, just the other day, we were on a call and she's a naturopathic doctor. And for her, it was kind of, she grew up with a good girl mentality. She was a straight A student. She like all of those things, all of those boxes she checked made her a good person, right? But they were never things that she desired. There were other things that people put out in front of her and said, if you make these things happen, then you're good and you're a success. And so when we started to work together, we had to kind of unpack all of that and say, first, what do you even want? What does success really look like for you? And then what are the things in the way of that? And so as an intuitive, guiding her through the process of looking under certain rocks or understanding and receiving messages about where she was actually holding that in herself and holding herself back. She went in 2023. So she went a few years ago. She was excited to make $30,000 in this 1 month. And the other day we're on a call, and in 2 weeks she had made, she started out the call and she said, I think I've almost made 80. So and then we sat down and said, well, I would like to know. So she had made basically almost $90,000 in a few weeks.
That's amazing.
And so I asked her to check back in, where were you before? Because the other thing is we don't celebrate, we don't acknowledge that was a goal for her and she had achieved it. That was a goal for her and no one else made her do it. She was actually the person to do the work, to show up to it. And she couldn't do that previously because she was stuck around that idea of, why would I deserve this? Mm-hmm. Why is it okay for me to make millions of dollars? And so that we had to walk through that with her. Yeah.
I see that with a lot of women that are afraid to money is evil and all this.
Yeah.
And it's
greedy if you want more money.
I was raised in that environment.
Yeah.
My family, growing up lower middle class, almost on the edge of poverty. They always said things like that. Money is evil. You don't need this or that. And I mean, we always had everything we needed.
These people are privileged, or these
or
conversations.
The conversations,
absolutely. And then if you build your own company and build success, then they look at you differently, treat you differently. But we're still human.
And speaking from our perspective, we built a 7-figure business. I still feel really uncomfortable communicating that to my family because I feel shame.
There's still judgment.
I feel shame and judgment.
The shame and the judgment. And then what happens is we get that from outside, right? Up to the age of 10, we're basically open books. It's they've proven that is children just really absorb everything. But then once we've absorbed it, we're the ones repeating it after that fact. We're the ones saying it's the truth. So having someone be able to look inside and see that path backwards to what's going on helps people to instantly release that and know what to release.
Yeah.
Because it's really specific. Your words about what it is are the things that need to be changed. So what you say is greedy can be something completely different for someone else, right? She could say, making $10,000 a month is oh, that's just enough. I can't do more. But yeah, it really does matter.
Well, when you are able to start generating wealth and creating your own wealth, you're able to do other opportunities for things for families, right? We'll step in. This year we took the family to Disney World for an entire Christmas vacation. We covered the majority of the cost. We flew family members out and things started happening, but there was still different tension and awkwardness with things, even though we're providing value and giving.
Right.
The thing is, I don't want people to feel we're not rubbing anything in anyone's face or anything like that, right?
Yeah.
But the energy that was in the room, sometimes it's hard to deal with because they're not at that stage. I haven't opened up and unlocked the mindset to be able to accept that we want to treat them. We want to give back. We want to provide these experiences for family without feeling judged or things like that. So it's very intriguing, I always say just keep going on your path. And of course, people come in, even family members and people in our lives, maybe we just have to step back and just kind of release some of the energy and just focus on ourselves.
Absolutely. I think it's releasing some of the energy, but here's what I would say. And I'll tell you, because this reminds me of something. I had an 80th birthday party for my father and all of our family was in. I've come with a big family. And I picked up the bill. That caused the greatest controversy at the table. But what I did, and my husband was hand on hand, right? It's all good. And I said, no, that's fine because I did what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
I love my dad. We're very close. And I was this was my gift from my heart to have this experience. And to your point, it's you have to let people do what they're going to do.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And you have to decide that your version of wealth, your version of abundance whatever that looks like, it's so important. Like whatever that looks like, whether that's 6, 7, 8, multiple 8 figures, if it's really aligned, then that's what matters. It doesn't matter what anybody else says.
Yeah.
Because if we give that judgment over to someone else to say what's worth being wealthy, then that's when we lose our own footing.
Yeah. And for me, like what wealth means is like, I want to be able to give more to my family. Like it makes me I don't want to cry on camera. But
okay.
I do want to give more to my family. I want to give more to my friends. I want to help more small businesses succeed. And that's why I'm so passionate about what we're doing here, is because I believe anybody, no matter what level you're at, you can achieve like amazing things, and you just have to take action. So yeah. That was stupid. Oh my God. I can't. And it makes me really upset because
it's not,
my situation.
that feeling you're having though, that emotion, that it's not stupid. First of all, let's just make that clear. But it's also really important to you, what that looks like. And to me, when I get to have a client, like I had a client who got to take her daughter to see a show in Paris, and the Phantom of the Opera at the Opera House. And the moment she got to experience that goal for herself, first of all, yes, she cried, but what she cried about was this moment in her life where she suddenly was free to do what she wanted, the way she wanted. And the people around you, whether or not they appreciate it, they win because you're winning.
Yeah.
Their lives are better. And ultimately, that's what we're here to do, is create better in our lives and to live that limitless point of expression, right? So if that's an expression that your heart is wanting you to create, there's nothing better than that, to have that be achieved. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And I just I don't want people to feel like unworthy. Like if they can't afford to do something either, and don't compare yourself. Like we're all building wealth in our own ways, or maybe that's not even their priority.
Right.
So
exactly. Maybe it's not their priority, but it doesn't mean you don't get to be generous.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And that is one of those, like boulders we sometimes have to move. And that's what I help my clients do, is like realize that boulder and turn it into gold. Right. Yeah. That's the alchemy of the work that I do, is to help those boulders become gold in your life. Like lay that down, because it is a way for you to do more and be more. Yeah.
That's like one of my biggest passions is, being generous, giving back, giving. If something's going on, it's like, why not allow somebody else to come in and participate in something? It's like, well, if I can help this person, I'm just going to reach out and see how I can help them. It's like if they're a client or they're not a client, or like I saw something on social media, I'm like, okay, I just felt called to reach out to that person for some reason. I was told to do so. Yeah. So, no, look what you made me do. Yeah,
I want to highlight that though, Tamara, because that is your spirit speaking to you, right? That is that intuition that we all have that is guiding us to do what is right for us to do. Again, it's and ultimately,
it's so powerful.
You really are meant to succeed, and we are all meant to thrive. Whatever version of thriving is right for you. Yeah. Right. My family, if you're happy, whatever, be happy. That's the key for sure.
That's one of the biggest keys is like finding happiness. Cause they're like, before I left corporate, I kept saying to my family, I'm not happy in this industry. I'm not happy. And then I've been running around with cameras, making silly YouTube videos for 4 years saying, it's just a hobby. It's just a hobby. And then they're like, just do something with it. I'm like, okay, I'll go back to film school, and then I did that and I was like, oh, I can create a career out of it.
Right.
And then get offered $12 an hour. and then build a multi-million-dollar.
That's it. Your wealth and your purpose leave clues, right? So those things that bring you joy, those are the wayposts. Yeah. Those are the signs that people are like, well, where are the signs? Like they're all around you. Yeah. What you need to do is accept those signs. It was like, you need to accept them. And then you need to take action, like we're saying, right? Yeah. So the acceptance is the first part. Like, the number one question I ask every single client I've ever worked with that I'm so surprised shocks them when I ask it, and we're like sitting one-on-one especially. I'm like, great, like blah, 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 whatever they're telling me. They sit down, they start jumping. And here's the question. What do you want? Not what anybody else wants or thinks is good for you or you should do. Be honest. What do you want? And what's great is when somebody goes, you know what I really like? I'm like, yes, please tell me more, right? Because they're so, conditioned
Mm.
to put that so far in the back
Yeah.
that when I'm like, I'm not like, I will not speak until you tell me what you want.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like that pause and that space. And then you see it in their eye, a little glimmer or a smirk. And they're like, really? I can tell you what I really want? I'm like, absolutely. First of all, let me tell you something. As someone who's psychic and have been around people like my whole life, I know, first of all, what you want. And secondly, there's nothing you could tell me that would ever shock me. So
What do I want?
You want some food right now?
yeah.
I always say the same thing, and I always say that I realized recently that I was like, it's such a simple answer, but then I realized like what pertains to it, because I just use one word and it's always more.
Yeah.
But what is it meaning more? Like more, more opportunities, more connections, more giving, more everything, like, because it just continues to grow and then create more of a movement in my life. And so the people are always like, what do you want? I'm like, more.
Yeah.
But I'm like, does that sound weird?
Or does it sound greedy?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And then we are playing the game in our head.
And it didn't mean that, I just want like more, but you think like more money, right?
Yes.
It's like more opportunity, more sleep, more puppies, more kids, more what, it's like my soul just feels like I'm driven to do more, create more, want more.
Right.
And it's not in the sense of coming from greed. It's just like, I want to do more. Like, it's just like, there's more out there to do, like to help involve other people though, in that journey.
That piece. I think that's the key.
And then that's how I'm trying to.
That's when you say that to me, I can
that
hear
with
in
people.
you though, even just like as you were talking, like there's this sign for you that it's just like, it's how much more can you give others? That's the thing. And if you can give others more opportunity to create and express, every time you're going to lean into that. Because that's one of your core qualities.
That's the hard time I've had with communicating. What is it that I want to truly have more of and with, right? Like creating that experience. And so whenever I use that word, I'm like, more. I mean, she says it as well. Like we're in the car. We're like, we just want more.
Well, okay, so it's about having that growth mindset, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what got us to where we are, all of us. Every woman that we interviewed this week had a growth mindset, constantly learning, constantly evolving. You can't bring if you bring a horse to the water, it doesn't mean they're going to drink it, right? And so I think it's just so important that we all just step up as women and take action and go with our intuition and go after what we want in life.
And it's okay to want more of whatever those aspects that are creating your life path.
Yeah. And I would even challenge that it's not just okay. Like that's the part. I think that goes back to this idea of judgment and permission, right?
Correct.
But the core qualities of who we are, and if your core qualities are that level of abundance and more, then it doesn't matter what anybody else says about it. Because it's natural to you. And the entire existence of all humanity is creativity. None of us would be here if people weren't creating things. That's all I'm saying. But I mean, everything in nature, you look around, it's not like we don't just have one orange tree. And it doesn't just have one orange. Like the entire nature of humanity and life is to continue to create and grow. So more is born into us.
What would the oracle say to us?
What would the oracle say to us about that? The biggest thing that the oracle would say about the idea of wanting more is really, she keeps coming back and pointing back to this idea of greed. And that is such a lie. That there is no blessing you can ask for that isn't already desired in the universe. It comes from itself. So your expression of it makes the entire universe sing. It allows the universe to continue. It's not like the universe is going to pull up shop anytime soon. Yeah.
And money is energy.
It is.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's just a part of the energy. Like what you're talking about isn't even money necessarily.
Yeah.
It is a part of it.
It's just one part of
it's just how things are transferred, right? But the energy with which it's transferred, that's the true beauty. That's the expression of what I would call like the big self, the big S self, right? Because the universe is wanting to expand and grow.
Well, I'm so grateful for you and you joining us, and you have an incredible show as well. I would say, what were you calling it? You called it Oprah meets Tyler Henry on that side.
Right.
Oracle on Purpose.
Yes.
I'd love for our audience to know more about your show and everything else that you have coming up with the Limitless Life Club. Could you share a little bit more how they can connect with you?
Yeah, absolutely. So yes, we now are revamping and rebuilding the Oracle on Purpose podcast so that it is the feeling of like sitting down and having a conversation, but we also included the opportunity for the women founders and leaders that I'm going to be interviewing to have that access to insights and information from the Oracle and have basically a psychic reading right there on the show. And as far as the Limitless Life Club goes, the idea is like for us to create a membership that continues to broaden and grow. And our first opportunity to like do something as a community is to go to Costa Rica. The first Limitless Life Club retreat will be in March of 2025. And so, if you are interested or curious, of course, come and see me on YouTube and all of the social media channels from anoracleonpurpose.com. And I think this opportunity, and I thank you guys for giving me the space to speak here, but also everything you've done to help me and your generosity. You're leading with heart everywhere you guys are. You are brilliant and funny. So I'm so grateful that I get to work with you and be in community with you. And I think that's what really helps women who really are ready to build and grow wealth, is that we lock arms together and we continue to create something beautiful and magical in what we do. So thank you guys so much for having me.
I love that. That was so well said. Okay. Sorry. You're about to cry. We're grateful to have you in our life, and we're glad that you came back in to our space again. We're so excited.
Yeah, no, we're super grateful for you, Lia. And those of you that are tuning in to Women Unlocking Wealth, brought to you by Broadcast Your Authority, we're super excited to share more episodes just like that, this one as well. Be sure to subscribe to our channels, follow us on all of our social channels as well, and we'll see you in the next episode.